And here we go. Fantastic. Hi, everyone. It's Jennifer Beaumont Whyte here. And good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whatever time zone you're on. Thank you and welcome to the BU interview with me, Jennifer Beaumont Whyte, and my very special guest, Krysti Turznik. Now, she's going to be telling us about why mindset is everything. And Krysti is a motivational speaker who shows people how to shine light on their shadows, understand that mindset is everything, and to show up as a powerful creator in their lives so that they can create a life that they don't need to escape from, and where everything and every day can feel like it's a day on the beach, which she's going to explain. But first, I would like to, before we can delve into her story in a while, I'd like to just introduce myself if you've not met me before. I'm known as the Emotional Freedom Specialist. I'm an intuitive business coach, and my mission is to help my people to achieve their heart's most wanted desires, to help clear emotional blocks around money, creativity, confidence, and success, move from being stuck to having the courage to be irresistible, and move from fear to love, and gain the courage to be authentic and real. That's what I'm all about. So this is why the interview is called the BU interview. Living life on your own terms and making money, making an impact, and making the world a better place by doing what you love. So first, I'd like to do a bit of housekeeping. So if you're really loving what we're doing here, I'd like you to be sharing, making a comment, and asking questions. And if you ask some questions in the comments box below, both of us, me and Krysti, will come back and answer your questions. And love up and big up your comments as well. Please share and spread the word so others can gain some benefit from our conversations that we're having here today. And most important, please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more interviews, inspiration, and information to help you become the best version of yourself and help you keep on doing what you really love, because you're beautiful and unique, and the world needs what you have to offer right now. Talking of which, welcome to Krysti, and it's an honor to have you. I keep calling you Krysti. It's Krysti. Welcome, Krysti, and it's an honor to have you here.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm thrilled to be able to be talking with you, and I just love that intro of everything is really just about being you and being authentically who you're meant to be. So it's going to be a fabulous.
Which I'm finding at the moment is there's a lot of talk about being authentic and real, and it'd be great for us to sort of talk about how we actually met in the first place. You're on a mission, or you're on a challenge or something, aren't you? That's how we've come to meet.
We did meet, yeah. I was in a challenge that was prompting me to really spread my message in a greater way than what I had previously. So we met under that. So I had, requested for connections of, who has various different platforms, and you came into my circle through a connection, a mutual friend of ours.
Fabulous. So how is that going for you? Are you winning? Have you won? What's happened?
Yes. So it finished on, it finished about a week and a half or so ago, and I did end up with winning the top prize.
Yay! Fantastic. Well done. Amazing. I'm so proud of you. Well done for doing that. And obviously this is part of the competition thing. You've had all your bookings, and I think this is one of the final few interviews that you're actually completing. So yeah, I'm so happy that you're here. So fabulous. So tell us about your entrepreneurial journey, because obviously this is like about your business, and you've got some tips for us a bit later on about why mindset is really important. But tell us a little bit about your story.
Yeah, absolutely. So my journey has been very winding. Like I actually resisted the path that I find myself in now. I resisted it for quite some time. And my story, like so many others, begins when I was in childhood, and for so long I didn't believe in myself or my value or my worth, and I really allowed other people to tell me who I should be, and I played that role very, very well. I did what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. And I took those messages to heart of, be seen and not heard. Mm-hmm. And I fell into that life that was not authentic to who I knew that I was inside. And then when I was 17, I was diagnosed with a heart condition. really forced me again to settle into that life that was less than the one that I had seen for myself.
Okay.
So so what happened is, I came to a point where I felt an overwhelming sense of loss and sadness at the potential of, what my life could have been versus what I was living. And at one moment specifically, I had had enough. Like, I reached my breaking point, and I knew that unless I changed within myself, that I would die 1,000 deaths. It would just be a horrible life. So from that moment, I started to give myself permission to dive into all of the emotions that I had avoided for so long. And what I discovered is, as I healed those emotions, my heart condition healed as well. And it really taught me that we have more power than the power that we claim.
Absolutely.
So that started me to really, do a lot of introspection of, what is going on? Like, how are we showing up in our lives? And so as I, move forward, from, college and stepping into career, all of those little guideposts of, following the intuition of what should you be doing and how does that need to manifest, they've all been guiding me to this point in time where now I'm helping people to really connect with themselves on that deeper level, and knowing that we're all here for a purpose, with a purpose, that we each matter, and it's helping people to step into that fuller version of who it is.
Fantastic. So that was a really young age where you came to that realization, because a lot of us sort of go through this, they go through college and university and they have their children or whatever, and some people like myself don't realize that until much later in life. You know that there's something not quite right, and you haven't got the information or the knowledge to actually move forward until much later. I mean, that didn't happen for me until I'd had my first child, well into my 20s, and then it was like, by that time I was already married, and stuff like that. And it's like, as soon as I realized there was a better way to live, it's like the whole, the world started to fall apart, because my husband couldn't understand what was going on with this weird woman who's suddenly found herself and talking about having her own mind and, making her own decisions. And it's like a real challenge within a marriage. So it's like, and it's just as you say, going against what you're taught. You must fit into this box and do as you're told and not be seen, and just not be heard, but just be seen. So that's very brave of you at an early point in your life. So that's amazing.
I was very fortunate to have that insight early, and like you said, as we start to claim more for ourselves, everyone around us needs to find that new balance of how do we fit into their experience. And it's not always easy. It's not always a pleasant conversation, and relationships have to shift and change and grow. And but it's all part of the process, really, of what we need to do in order to be that grand version of who we are in ourselves.
Exactly. It's like an evolution. And I always think of it as an evolution back to where we started from, because we start as babies, as fresh and, like spontaneous and curious and accepting things and trying out in the world. And then we get put into the box, and then we have to break out of the box again to become spontaneous and curious and go back to being a child almost. It's like, it's a weird experience.
It's that self-realization journey, right? Like, so we know where we start from, and then society teaches us that that's not how it is, and then we just have to go back to the truth that we know, right? We know that we can do all these things. Absolutely.
Fabulous. So you're going to be speaking to us about mindset is everything, which is where the conversation is leading. So tell us a bit about mindset, and do you have some tips for us, and do you have a little sort of something that we can learn from you about how you teach?
Yeah, absolutely. So mindset is your predominant ruling thoughts and beliefs that you have about yourself and your place in the world. And really, mindset is everything. And we have the ability to choose, what to think, what we feel, how we respond, and ultimately the freedom to become the kind of people that we choose to become. And our mind is the thing that makes that happen. So in every moment, we have the opportunity to decide how we're showing up in the world. And it really starts with the beliefs that we hold about ourselves. you know, do we feel like we're good enough? Do we feel like we have value and things to offer the world? Or are we, you know, settling for something that's less? Are we kind of dimming our own light? Because the mind does not care what information you offer it. It just is going to act upon the information, right? Like that's just what it does. So it has the ability to, based on what it is that you're telling yourself is important, your subconscious has the ability to look in your environment and find all of those things that are meeting and matching that expectation, and everything else literally like falls away. It doesn't become apparent for your subconscious.
Yeah.
So we're limiting ourselves based upon the thoughts that we're thinking. So it's so important that your beliefs and your expectations are in alignment with the ultimate goals that you are setting for yourself. And then we also need to remember that with that, you know, proper mindset comes the responsibility to take full ownership of our life.
Absolutely.
And to start taking action on the things that are coming to us. All of the opportunities and the experiences and the people that we meet are helping us to step closer to who it is that we're becoming, or to success with those goals that we set for ourselves. And at any point we find ourselves off track, you know, we can really just recommit to the goal that we have for ourselves, and know that, you know, we're going to be getting there. That we have all of the tools within ourselves and the skills. If we have the ability to think of the idea, then we also intuitively have the ability to manifest that and make that happen.
But what I'm finding, you probably find the same thing as well with your clients, and it's that we don't, you know, we it's all well and good saying, okay, we have the ability to do this within ourselves, but we don't know that. Sometimes we don't know, and we need someone outside to be able to tell us, which is why a coach is really important, you know, to stand outside of our box and say, hey, you know, you're an amazing person, and these are the tools, tactics, tips for you to actually find the answer within yourself to empower yourself, you know. So yeah,
absolutely. And I think it's so important for someone's success is having someone to hold that space for you and the bigger vision for your future than what it's possible for you to see in that moment. And, you know, be that mirror and reflect to you when you're getting in your own way, to show you the areas of your brilliance and encourage you to keep on going on, you know, on that path of things that are important to you. Coaches are so valuable with helping all of that. Yeah, absolutely.
Fabulous. So I believe you got an acronym for your little process, your B.E.A.C.H acronym. So yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, so it's some of what we've already been talking about. So for me, like peace and tranquility and that feeling of, you know, everything is as it should be, and filling yourself with that confidence, it can all be represented for me in the acronym of B.E.A.C.H. So B-E-A.C.H. And it starts with, the B is for belief.
I'm taking notes.
Please do. So the belief that you're holding for yourself. Then the E is for expectation. Are you really expecting the beliefs to come true? A for the action, accountability, you know, being that authority in your life. C is for charting a new course and really having the courage and the commitment to reach those goals that you're setting for yourself. And then lastly, the H is for honoring yourself and your truth. So really remembering that there's a purpose for why you have all of these desires within you, and it's because you're meant to share them with the world. So
I love that because that's what I'm all about. It's all about, you know, sharing your love with the world. And if everybody did it, if everybody just did one little piece of sharing their love, and that ripple effect would just go throughout the world. You know, each one touch one, and it'd just be amazing. But there's so many of us are full of fear, and fear doesn't actually exist. It's just a man-made concept. So yeah, this is so beautiful. I love the honoring of yourself. That's so gorgeous. It feels lovely.
Thank you. And, you know, sometimes that's like the part that we forget about, you know, is like we feel like only the good parts of us are acceptable for other people to witness, but yet like the parts where we've been wounded, where we feel like we're not good enough, like that's also beautiful, because that's the opportunities for us to learn and to grow so much more about ourselves.
Absolutely.
Fall, right?
Yeah, that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Fantastic. So speak more of mindset. I mean, do you have any more tips or anything else to share with us about mindset?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I recommend to all of my clients is really to spend one entire day just witnessing what it is that's going on. You know, what is that internal dialogue that you're repeating to yourself? And
Mm.
without criticism, without judgment, just be that silent observer, and, you know, taking note of, are all of my thoughts tending to be more positive? Are they encouraging? Are they supportive? And am I being my best cheerleader? Or
Mm.
am I, you know, in that fixed mindset where, you know, I'm limiting myself and I'm not believing in my full potential? And then once you have that idea of, you know, what are these thoughts that I'm thinking? You know, sometimes people like to write them down into journal. Other times people just keep a mental tally of that. But there will tend to be a trend that
Mm.
is common throughout the thoughts that you're thinking, because
Mm.
the majority of our thoughts, about 90% of them actually, are the same thoughts that we had thought the day before, and
Yeah.
only about 10% are new.
New ones.
So
Mm.
if you're focusing on, you know, what is it that I'm predominantly thinking about, and are they ultimately going to be serving my goals and helping me to reach those things that I want for myself, then that's really great if they're in alignment with that. And for the ones that are not, then that's their opportunity to really reclaim your power and to shift those beliefs into something that's going to be serving you, you know, more purposefully as you move
Mm.
forward.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I love that. I love that, to take a day out to really think about your thoughts, because I do have a habit of calling myself, like, just automatically calling myself like stupid names. Oh, you stupid thing, or what an idiot kind of thing. It just comes out. And my friend is always telling me, what did he say? What did he say? Yeah, I do that for my clients as well. If they're saying negative things about themselves, it's so easy to see someone else, but you can't actually see yourself doing that. This is why it's so important to have someone else to reflect off, and you know, to bounce ideas off, you know, to really have that mirror bouncing back at you, you know, and then to sit and think and really purposely think for the whole day the thoughts that are coming to you, and the, you know, what you're saying to yourself. I think that's so cool. So that's a nice little touch. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very insightful, you know, and it's really giving yourself permission to take that honest, unbiased look at what you're doing to, you
Yeah.
know, your thoughts and how you're showing up, and how you may be getting in your own way. And
Mm-hmm.
then with that awareness becomes more of that ability to shift things, to take those actions that are going to help you to reach your goals. So
Fabulous, fabulous, fantastic. So let's speak a bit more about your entrepreneurial journey, because obviously these ideas and thoughts and how you're operating in your business didn't just pop in your head. So what happened after after college, and you started the journey of your self-discovery? So how did you turn that into a business?
yeah, you know, after college, I had found myself in a job, that wasn't satisfying me mentally, physically, financially, like in every way possible. It was just a horrible fit. And I had a conversation with myself, you know, what can I do with mind-body connection? And
Mm.
immediately hypnosis popped in my head, which was an odd thought, you know, based on what I was experiencing. But I honored that intuition, you know, I honored that guidance, and I, you know, started doing research on what that could be, how that could, you know, present itself moving forward. And 2 weeks later, I was taking my first training in the hypnosis.
Ah,
So that's really one of the biggest things that I've learned, is when you get those insights and those moments of clarity, start to act upon them. And then from that, you know, I started doing the hypnosis training and working one-on-one with clients and evolving myself, because for so often I wanted to help everyone. You know, so, oh, you know, I can meet everyone's needs. And I was, you know, there for everyone, but I wasn't as good as what I could be as if I had, you know, just focused on the particular the people that I was really passionate about and skilled with. So as I, you know, got more experience, I learned that I do have more of a specialty for, you know, helping people to connect with themselves and their journey and who it is that they're meant to be, and show up fully. And what I discovered is, as I've gotten more truthful with who it is that I am and the things that I'm good about, then I've been able to step into more of that greater business, because I have been able to offer more of an impact and more of a change for the people, because I'm helping those specific people that need exactly what it is that I have to offer.
Yeah, I mean, there's a phrase in coaching and you know, therapies. It's all, you can't go further with your client than you've gone yourself, and it's always a process of you know, always evolving yourself and always doing research and honing yourself, then you can offer whatever it is to your clients, you know, because you're always like one step ahead of them. And if you haven't been there, you can't actually help them, you know. So it's like that transformational hit. You can't get to that until you've been there yourself. So it's always a process of growing yourself, evolving. Yeah, wonderful. So yes, continue. So how did you actually turn it into a business? Because obviously you're you know, you're on the journey. So how did you make it yours and just your own thing?
Yeah, you know, for much of my experience, I had the day job and I was honing my craft and my skills as part-time. And then at one point, you know, my husband and I started a family, and that really forced me to decide, do I want to, you know, go back and have that job, or do I want to really start to shape the way that I'm showing up and claiming the future that I want for myself? So that was really the guiding factor of, you know, of really allowing myself to claim more and stepping into how I can show up for these people. So it was really just getting in touch with, what is it that I wanted for myself? What was I good at? What did I know that I could do all day long that I would be willing to do for free, even though, you know, I deserve to be paid? What would I find joy in, you know, in doing all day long? And once I connected with that, and then really allowed myself to put my personality into my business and to show people who I was and to be vulnerable with them of the good parts and the times when I have stumbled, then that's where my business really started to shift and to become more truthful and more authentic, and people are resonating with that. Because, you know, like you said, you can't do or ask of your clients what you haven't been willing to do yourself. So
exactly. Yeah, and people actually do love that authenticity, that realness, that, like, you know, when you're being, you know, open and vulnerable with them, it's like, and you're sharing some of your own self with them as well. It's like, oh my gosh, you've been there as well, you totally understand me, you know, so you can help me, you can hold my hand because you've been there, you know. It's a really nice nice little process when people like accept your vulnerability. Because initially when I started doing when I started my business, it was like all very formal, very professional, very stuck, you know, like, this is, oh, we're going to do it like this, you know, to this formula, rigid. And I didn't like myself being like that at all, you know. And then over the years, it's like, okay, you know what, I don't really care anymore, I'm just going to be me, and if they like me, they like me, if they don't, they don't. Well, and on that, people are more accepting, and I think people are more not so judgmental, because in the past, people, you'd be like, oh, you're not professional enough, I'm not going to, you know, maybe you're not quite right. But now they're looking at, okay, you're open to being real, and I do want to be, you know, I want you to be my coach, because I feel I resonate, I feel the connection with you. And that's what people always remember, how you make them feel, and they really connect with that. So yeah, fabulous. And I believe you are a best-selling author as well.
Yeah. Yes, I am. Yeah. So I had a book that I published last year. So it's called Mindset Magic: Using Scientific and Spiritual Principles to Create Your Life.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Fantastic. So in that book, what is scientific and spiritual?
Principles to create your life.
That doesn't quite scientific and spiritual. I mean, how does that work?
Yeah. So for me, it's really a blending of, like, how does the physical world and our mindsets, like our subconscious, how does that interact with the underlying, you know, spiritual forces that are taking place and helping to shape our lives? Like, where is that interaction, and how can we help to shape and co-create what it is that we're experiencing? So the book was really a deep exploration for me to be able to teach other people of what it is that we're doing, you know. So how is our mindset helping to shape the world? And then once we do our part, how is the universe really coming together to support that and to bring that that desire that we have to us? So it's a combination of education, and then the second half of the book is practical application of specific meditations for particular topics of abundance or connection and trusting yourself and wisdom and things like that.
That's fascinating. I'm going to have to get that book. And it's interesting how over, I don't know, the last, 50, 20 years, how spirituality, science is proving spirituality, science is proving the ancient words, and all the metaphysical stuff is all being proven by science. And it's like science is catching up with the old ways, kind of thing, rather than being like, oh, well, science is like the be all and end all, and this is how it is, and this is the practical. It's like actually proving God, basically. It's proving spirituality, it's proving the energetic forces and things like that, and spirit and things like that. It's really amazing how the two are starting to blend together. There's hardly any difference between science and spirituality now, if you really look into it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what really the study of metaphysics is that deeper understanding of energetically, like what's taking place. We had talked about, when your subconscious is accepting a belief, how it looks into your environment and finds those things that are matching that expectation, and everything else is not transferred to to your conscious awareness. Well, yeah. Energetically, all of those things that are out of alignment are quantumly, like on that energetic level, they're disappearing. They're literally becoming non-existent. So we're limiting ourselves that way, and that's a perfect blending of how the scientific, like, physicality of our mindset is. It's working in conjunction with those underlying principles that are scientific, but they're also spiritual at the same time.
Yes. It's amazing. We are in an amazing world. I mean, I just wonder at this world and how, the natural things and, the laws and everything are just perfectly designed for us. And we, as human beings, get in the way. We allow ourselves to get in the way. It's like we're blocking things. We're building up illusory fear, fearful emotions, fear-based thinking, or building up illusionary things, and and they don't exist. If we got moved away from that fear-based illusion, all there would be love, and love is so powerful, and we'd have a wonderful life. But we got a long way to go, I think, to change people's minds and mindset around fear and love. It's just, that's our work, I think.
It is our work, and any moment that we find ourselves in that fear, we can always choose again and reconnect to that deeper connection that we have with everyone, that underlying love and thing that is pervading everything that is in existence. So
Okay, so did you have a point in your entrepreneurial career where you were really disillusioned, or you came from you got to a rock bottom place where you thought the business wasn't going to take off or happen, or something made you have doubts about your business?
Oh yeah, I have had several of those, unfortunately.
I think we all have.
Yeah, and those moments, like looking back, they have always been when I have disconnected with the bigger why of why am I doing these things, what is the purpose, and trying to please everyone else and not please myself, not be truthful to who it is that I am, and the people of who I'm trying to serve, trying to be that person who is helping everyone. Those moments where it wasn't working at all.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, once we know that what's causing and not working, and we get back on track, somehow or the other, we always drop off the twig. We all fall off the twig again, and we have to pull ourselves back up. And I think it's the human element, because the spiritual element is always consistent and constant. It's always there for us. But when we start being more human, and getting those little self-doubts, and they start creeping in, we have to sort of haul ourselves back up and say, no, come on, we can keep going, and it's going to be fine, because of our conditioning through our life. We have to sort of keep reprogramming and rewinding and reprogramming to get back to that place. And it's lucky that we have support around us that can help us to pull back up as well. So that's really important.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's why it's so important to surround yourself with people who believe in you, who they see that bigger vision for your future than what it is that you can see for yourself. So those moments of self-doubt and where things aren't going well, they can remind you, hey, you are awesome. Like there's a reason why you've chosen to do this.
Fabulous. Okay, so Do you have do you run workshops or events or anything? Do you have anything coming up that you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me that I have coming up, besides some appearances of sharing what we've been talking about now, is I'm going to be at the Shine Live event in
Okay.
Arizona, Canada, coming up
Okay.
in October. So that's part of the that contest that I had won, is the speaking opportunity.
Oh,
so,
wow. Okay. Oh my gosh.
So,
Is that a big event? What's the event about? Because I don't think I know that one.
yeah, the event is really about different ways that you are able to shine more fully and embracing who it is that you are, and really getting out of your own way, connecting with your truth. And there are I believe 16 plus speakers that are
Wow.
all skilled at their craft and their in their topics, coming together to support people who are on the same self-discovery journey.
Fabulous.
So,
And this is in October, you're saying it's
this is in October of this year, yes.
right. I'm going to have a look at that because obviously if you give me those details as well, I'll put that into the description and the comments. But my thing is all about my group that I'm going to be launching is Ignite Your Brilliance. And it's an inner circle membership. So it's shining and being the best you and everything. So I think I should investigate this event as well. It's all about shining.
Absolutely, right?
That should be so cool. Okay, so fabulous. And so have you got a bit of advice, a last bit of advice that you want to leave for our audience about empowering your mindset, or something to to keep us going and keep our mind in in focus?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, the biggest thing is to really remember that you are here on purpose, you're here with a purpose, and that you matter, and that people need exactly what it is that you have to offer. And there's no one else that ever was in history or will be in history who is exactly like you. So give yourself really permission to embrace the uniqueness of who it is that you are, and to show up fully, to shine your light, so that other people are just automatically wanting to be the better version of themselves because they see you being the best version.
Shining as well. Exactly what I'm about. Exactly. I see the genius in everyone, and that's a beautiful statement. Just remember who you are, and you're here for a purpose. That's amazing. Krysti, thank you so much for that. And you have a couple of offers for our audience as well. So you've got some gifts for them to take away or get involved with you, and you'll be able to help them as well.
I do, yeah. So I would love to, share a belief change worksheet that has really helped me to shift when I have been having those moments of self-doubt or negative beliefs, and shift them into empowering beliefs. So they can find that on my website, which is powerful-mind.com/belief change. And they can also find some free meditations that are available as well to help you reconnect from chaos into more of that calm, peaceful position.
Fantastic, fantastic. So thank you so much. That'll be so cool. I'll be delving into those as well. So yeah, that's so cool. Fantastic. So so how can you've already said how people can find out more about you. So are you on all the social media platforms as well?
I am predominantly Facebook and Instagram is where I hang out a lot.
Yeah.
So, but you can connect with me on my website too. But yeah, I definitely have that desire to help people to really step into their fullness and to create that life that they don't need to escape from, where that every day can feel like
I love that beach analogy. I really feel that's so cool. Beach. I've never heard of that one before, because there's always different acronyms that seem to reoccur with different people, but beach is a really nice one. Yeah, especially being a Jamaican person, I like to know about being on the beach.
That's my happy place, is the beach.
Fabulous. Okay, my darling, thank you so much for this interview. Thank you for your time with this, and well done with the competition as well. You're an eloquent speaker. I mean, I love hearing you speak and talk and everything. I want to actually hear your meditations, because I'm sure they'll be really soulful as well. Are you on YouTube? You on YouTube as well?
Not as much. Like, I'm moving to that direction, but I haven't made a significant presence there yet.
Yes.
Not yet.
Well, obviously, this interview will be on my YouTube channel, so you'll be making another step forward to being on YouTube a lot as well. So fantastic. Okay, Kirsty, thank you. Why do I keep saying Kirsty? It's Krysti. You know, it could be the Y in your name. That's what it could be. That's what I'm saying, Kirsty. But it's Krysti.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. Oh, look, pussycat. Oh, love cats. Hello. Who is he? She?
This is my Duncan. So
Duncan.
he always loves to get involved in these conversations.
Duncan. I've never heard of a cat called Duncan. I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I love cats. Love cats. Okay, thank you so much for the interview. Thank you for your time. And obviously, I'll be putting all the information in the description box down below on the YouTube channel and on my website as well. When I post it on my website, everything will be all there for everyone to be able to see, to be able to connect with you and see what you've got to offer. And yes, I found a soul sister. We're on the same track in terms of being authentic and helping our clients and the people that are in our lives to shine and shine in their beauty, shine in their brilliance, and be their best selves as well. Being you. Fabulous. Thank you very much, Kirsty. Krysti, thank you. Bye now. Okay, bye.